Alrighty, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks, our annual mock draft with our four panelists. We got myself, Dakota. We got Tim, of course. Nick joining us once again, and Bobby, who only comes around for our mock drafts, but we appreciate the. But no, we appreciate you guys coming on. It's exciting. I can't believe the mock draft or the draft itself, the NFL draft is here already. So yeah, we're gonna break it down. Everyone gets we're basically gonna rotate every four picks. I believe Nick or Bobby. Let me look at this.
I think I'm two.
It's me.
So it goes Nick, then Bobby, then me, then Tim in that order. So we can let me get my screen share going here so we can get the draft going.
I'll say, do we have any like fun music to cue us up, or the production just value is just plummeted? This is
I don't have the I'll
not even like
you'll hear the
can we get like the
ESPN
Jeopardy theme song?
But that'll be
Yeah, like
afterwards.
something here,
Jeopardy.
give us some excitement.
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
Jeez.
Here,
Just
hold
poor
on.
planning all around.
Oh, I gotta watch an ad on YouTube just to get a 4-second fucking clip.
Oh,
of
this
sound.
guy, we can't even invest in YouTube Premium.
There's no cursing.
This is just
There you go.
pathetic.
You happy?
I'm not gonna be able to monetize if we start cursing.
Oh, we've been cursing. That's just human nature. All right. Anyways, starting off, we got Nick as the first overall pick. The Chicago Bears traded away Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, what do they do with that number one pick, Nick?
This is gonna be a big shock to everybody, especially after the team already traded away their quarterback. Let's hope this is the first Chicago Bears first round quarterback that actually comes up to be somebody. I think I heard the other day they've never drafted a first round quarterback who's ever had a winning season. So let's hope that can change.
Didn't Justin Fields have a winning season? I feel like that's
no,
I don't know.
no. I don't think so.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't know. I just figured Ohio State he'd be there, but
No.
I mean, sad enough that regardless, sure,
Chicago.
it's believable.
with
I thought you said I thought you meant like in college.
Their lives.
Oh.
Caleb Williams, number one. He's already the locker there. The guy's already like
He's pretty much lives in Chicago. It's probably had how many deep dish pizzas do you think he's already had so far?
several.
Like he's got to have done the rounds. Like he's got to be out there eating all the deep dish pizza, just kissing the babies, eating the pizza.
Painted fingernails will turn you off.
What?
The painted fingernails, that was like a big thing about him. You didn't see that?
Who cares?
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah. I saw
dresses
that,
and stuff.
yeah.
It is like Chicago doesn't strike me as like a very painted fingernails, dresses kind of
If
city.
that was
So it's
Philly,
like-
oh my God. Can imagine
Yeah,
what
I mean,
the radio station would be
Uzi-
like.
I feel like Uzi's very like finger painty.
Yeah, no.
But, yeah.
To be fair in Philly, if
I-
you win, you could
Do anything.
just do whatever you want. Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So moving on, we got second pick is Washington. Bobby, what are they doing with that pick?
So I didn't do any studying, but I'm kind of looking at a big board right now. But just going off the eye test, I do think Washington brings in a quarterback to kind of restart that franchise with the owner and the coach, and I believe Adam Peters from San Francisco. But I don't think Drake May is going to be the pick here. I don't know what the mock drafts are lately, but I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback right now and maybe in the class. So I have them picking him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heisman love.
Yeah, no,
I
it kind
think
of reminds me a lot of
that's,
Burrow, kind of struggled at Arizona State, transferred to LSU, played with 2 first-round picks, but kind of is an electric player.
You know what? I'll throw another comparison at you because the history writes itself. Take you back to another generational quarterback prospect coming out of the Pac-12 that went number 1 overall, then followed up with the reigning Heisman dual threat quarterback being drafted by the Washington football team all those years ago with Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III. Kind of similar narrative. It's funny how history sometimes comes 360. I
Yeah,
like
no,
Yeah, I
it.
feel
I
like
like it for that
those
reason alone.
two.
I mean, I think it'll be a struggle for Washington this year. They don't have much around them, but I think he's kind of like you said, Robert Griffin III is kind of electric and can do a little bit of everything.
I mean, they have. I mean,
I mean, McLaurin and
yeah, they
Dotson,
got
and I think they signed Eckler, but I think he's electric.
yeah,
So
Scary Terry Eckler. They have
there's,
their line needs some work. It's not quite
yeah,
that great,
I
but
mean,
yeah, I think him or May is probably the pick here. Um, but cool. So this, I have the third pick, which is the Patriots, and I feel like they could do like they could trade this to Minnesota. They could take a quarterback here. They could take Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't really not sure. And I've seen a lot of Drake May or Daniels to him to the Patriots, but
But before you make
I
this pick, did you see all
yeah.
the rumors were starting in Boston about trading this pick for AJ Brown or something along those
I have
lines?
seen it. My brother has been texting me about it nonstop.
I've
I just don't know
not
where it's coming
Yeah.
from. I don't get it.
Can't have it.
No.
for
I don't know if
for
I'm
the
New
third
England,
overall
that'd be
pick.
insane. That'd be
Yeah.
insane to do.
Yeah. Apparently AJ Brown's going on the Patriots on draft night.
He
Apparently,
grew up a
according to
Patriots
them.
fan, and he made Tom Brady his profile picture, and he started following a
That
bunch of Patriots players. So then the rumor mill started.
Yeah.
it's
Listen,
hard to be
I don't want AJ Brown to get traded, but I mean, if we traded AJ Brown and then drafted like Marvin Harrison, that would help cushion the blow. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah. Help salary cap.
probably
Yeah,
not the worst case scenario.
If I'm
there,
New
but-
England, I'd be burning the city down if we traded a third overall pick for AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I told my brother who's throwing him the ball. I mean, like the water
Yeah.
boy. Like,
I think it was the third pick to be involved. Maybe it's second. I could be wrong.
Jared
But
Stidham.
it'd have to be a first.
oh, he has to be a first. He's 27 years old. And he's the top four
Yeah,
wide
no.
receiver in the NFL.
I saw that. I didn't know why he changed his profile picture to
Watch
Tom
the
Brady,
Pats.
and that
He
makes
watched the
sense.
Patriots doc. He grew up a Patriots fan. He loves Tom
Mm.
Brady, so he felt moved.
More importantly, I think he just likes to troll people.
I think
He
so,
probably
too.
heard the rumor mill. He's like, "This would be
Yeah,
hilarious."
he probably yeah.
He's
He
got
did
that
go on
little
WIP
Joel
to
Allen.
school him, so. All right.
But
go ahead.
anyways, so with all of that being said, I'm gonna paint you a little picture real quick. So it's the year 2000, start of a new decade. Little did we know the 199th pick in that year's draft would create a dynasty of championships, a little product out of Michigan, Mr. Tom Brady. And probably a little high for him, but
Oh,
I think
my
Robert
gosh.
Kraft is tired of losing and saw what happened after Brady left, and he's like, you know what? Let me dip my fry again in that same ketchup. Let's go and get another Michigan quarterback.
No.
What are you
J.J.
smoking?
McCarthy.
So
Oh,
I don't know
God.
what's worse about this whole like spiel, the dipping a fry in the same ketchup line, or that you're drafting JJ McCarthy third overall.
so
I
I-
forgot what I
I'm-
was gonna say for that, and that was the first
I
thing that
will
came to my
say,
mind.
I'm getting off. This is worse than Tim picking Justin Fields a few years back at number 2. I don't get it.
Did that
Yeah,
happen? Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, so I do want to say, first of all, Dakota, you had the year 2000. You didn't say new millennium, new century. You went new decade. Very interesting.
That's the word I was looking for.
Second of all, I'm really
Wasn't
upset
wrong.
'cause I do think that my draft day bomb is the Chargers trading Herbert and taking JJ McCarthy. I'm telling you right now. That's my
I think
No
that's
way.
very possible.
yep.
I
Call
mean,
it.
Like,
Michigan has
Yeah.
18 guys who could be picked in this draft, 19, something around there. They were deep, so I think that
I mean,
could
trading
help,
Justin Herbert to draft a rookie quarterback, that's a hell of a way to start your NFL coaching
I mean, if
career,
you're
or
in
your-
Minnesota, would you rather gamble on one of these quarterbacks, or would you rather have Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert without even thinking.
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, why would you trade Justin Herbert? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Because it's Harbaugh's team. He wants his Michigan players.
They're resetting. Look at the roster. The Chargers just gutted their team, and their salary cap still sucks. They are like they're not even going to compete for 3 years. This is.
But I mean, I
this
don't
is
think he's going there
prime
to suck
reboot.
though.
This is prime reboot category.
Man, I mean, like, I'll give Harbaugh credit. Like, if he does that, he's got like medicine balls in his pants. Like, that'll take some balls to pull off.
I'd rather go Knicks or Penix.
I just like that'd be really so. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team
Hey,
kind of sucks. Their salary cap situation's awful, but it's not like Herbert's old. Just get the whole thing. Let him go through some tough years and then build around him.
Just saying, that's my call. That's coming.
Well, out of nowhere, we're
Well,
dipping back into the same ketchup, and JJ McCarthy's already
sorry,
gone. So
sorry, I ruined that opportunity for you.
catch up matches Dakota's beard.
That's probably why this my camera's not making me blurry because I was fail there. But anyways, Tim, you are on the clock with the Arizona Cardinals. What are we doing?
this one's tough. I mean, you gave me a little curveball here because I mean, I really don't think I don't see the love for JJ McCarthy. Like this guy's asked to do nothing in
Neither do I.
Michigan. He's like there's game managers and that people that don't lose games in the NFL, but we're talking about a guy that was a game manager in college. Like what makes you think he's going to be a franchise guy? I don't see the love at all. So I mean, Arizona has been the top trade destination for a lot of teams that want a quarterback, specifically JJ. The fact that Dakota went out in left field and still has Drake May on the board makes this a little more interesting. Um, but I'm going to assume if Arizona's staying at 4, which I think ultimately will happen, unless, I don't know. I think someone waits and sees if one of these quarterbacks falls. I think it's a long shot to think they're going to trade all the way up to 4 to get someone. I think they wait to find one that falls and jumps on it. But if I'm Arizona, even with trade offers out there, I'm still taking Marvin Harrison Jr. The guy's like one of the best prospects we've seen in a couple of years. He's like superstar making. We've seen it with a lot of other wide receivers that come in the league and just start dominating right away. You got a guy on Kyler Murray who's on this big contract who really needs to start putting stuff together. Um, I think this has to happen. I'm taking Marvin Harrison here, even with all the trade offers there. I think taking a guy like Marvin Harrison is even better. Getting Kyler Murray or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
I think it's super interesting too because they took Larry Fitz at number 3 way back in I think '06 and or no '04. And what that guy did with catching from a bunch of nobodies he was just 1,000-yard guy over and over and over and had that wonderful Super Bowl and having a guy you can probably pencil in there, but the same body, same height. Marvin's like a leaner guy, but if you can go be a number 1 for a decade, like you can figure out some other pieces there.
I mean, they are an interesting team. I mean, they got a new GM, so it's not the guy that locked in Kyler, but I don't see Kyler Murray going anywhere. Then again, we saw Russell Wilson get moved and all that dead cat money, so who knows? But I mean, it's interesting. You'd see him go one ways. Do they trade Kyler, draft a quarterback? Do they move back and let someone draft a quarterback? Do they stay still and get Marvin Harris Jr.? I think it's
I don't think
the
they
most
trade
obvious
Kyler.
move. I mean, I think they
His
would if someone took
contract's
him.
pretty nasty.
Yeah, you think, but he's
They
getting
played the
close to
Eagles
Russell
defense
Wilson
last year,
territory.
so
Yeah.
take that with a grain of salt.
But yeah, I mean, I think if they're staying there, this is an obvious pick. Give Kyler something to work with.
Yeah, I don't think Harrison makes it out of the top 6. I mean, I saw a mock with him at 8 to the Falcons. I'm like, he's not lasting that long. But
No.
Yeah, no.
well, you shall see. All right, Nick, you are up at pick number 5 here.
Well, you ruined my JJ McCarthy bombshell, comment I was going to make, but I think if something like this happens, somebody moves, there's a lot of speculation the Giants might leapfrog the Chargers to number 4 to go up and take JJ. That's like a very commonly mock scenario. In this event where he's already gone, I think they'd be a really big trade down candidate, but I'm going to assume they stick here and they just let Keenan Allen.
Unless
Oh, jeez, here we come.
Oh God, you're sticking the fries and ketchup here.
my well, no, because that would be never mind. My Vikings that I had both picks of, they're pretty intrigued
Wait,
that
no
Drake
shit,
May
wait.
is still
They
sitting
want to
there.
move up to 5. Do you want to give me both first
They
round
might.
picks?
Wait, hold on. How did they get 2 picks? I forget. What?
From
They made a
Cleveland
draft
and then
pick.
from
They made a draft
Houston.
pick trade like a month ago to get a second first round pick.
Okay, I think I kind of remember that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking.
All right, so let's see what we can do here. So we got Minnesota. So Minnesota wants the fifth. We'll give you 11, 23.
You
You
can
think
take
that
that.
would be enough?
They're probably gonna need to give up both first to move up to a top five pick.
Yeah.
You probably have to give
Yeah,
up first
but I mean,
next
like,
year.
well, they don't have anything else after that either. Not till fourth round.
I mean, you're gonna have to go with first round pick next year. You're going in the top five. That you have to.
Three picks to go up 6 spots.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think I
I think
think
the two firsts are enough, and
I
maybe
think
like
the two first are enough. I would
yeah,
say that though that's probably what's gonna take.
and maybe like
Hmm.
a jump in the later rounds, a pick swap. I don't
Maybe
know.
the fifth. There's 32nd to the fifth. Would you like to accept this trade, Nick?
Yes, I'll take them.
All right. So Vikings trade 2 of their picks, get up to the fifth spot here. And like I said, Drake May, who could very well go to Washington, could very well go to Patriots at 3, slides to 5, and the Vikings or another team will probably slide up to grab him. So we'll see if he does anything in the league. Last time we had a UNC quarterback go this high, he was not very good. So
Can I just ask, did you make that absurd JJ McCarthy pick at number 3 just so you could have this dramatic moment where you come in last second while Nick's just about to announce the pick to drop a trade bombshell to go get up Drake May? Like you really, I mean, the fireworks have been just popping off with you. I mean,
someone's
me and
got to
Nick
do
are
it.
just over here going chalk, but you are just firing off
No,
rockets
I
I
here,
had
mean,
Mr.
I had
Excitement.
this huge run up I was gonna go with. I had the plan A, B, and then I do plan C, and then yeah, he threw a curveball at me.
I think I don't know. I think the JJ McCarthy thing to Michigan is like, or the Michigan to Patriots again. I feel like it's such a silly thing to predict, but I was like, fuck it, why not? So, but yeah, so that's that. Now we're on the clock with the Giants, which I believe is Bobby, number 6.
I don't even know where to go here for the Giants. I feel like they need everything.
So they do need everything.
Why they're
um,
picking 6.
yeah, I know. I mean, it feels like they're in the same spot every year. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think there's a few game-changing players, but nothing that's going to change them in like a year or two. And Dakota took 2 quarterbacks already, so I mean, I think they would listen to trade offers. Um, I would think Alt could be the pick there, but I know they have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, but apparently Evan Neal hasn't been too very good for them. Um, I think the other need is receiver, where they've whiffed on Tony and Robinson the last few times. I mean, I think Robinson's a good 2 or 3, but I mean, I think you got Neighbors sitting there, you got Bowers, Dunze. So I think they go with Neighbors to see if they get some help for Daniel Jones. Try to make that
Little
contract worth it.
OBJ esque
Yeah.
pick here, another LSU wide receiver. Okay, I can see it. All right, number 7, the Titans is just me.
Yeah.
So I think the Titans are gonna run the table, not run the table, but they're gonna.
They're gonna run the table.
You win a lot of money.
My whatever you call them, my phrases are not cooking tonight. They're going to ride it out with Will Levis, the quarterback for this year. They got a receiver in last year's draft, or 2 drafts ago, and then they just signed Calvin Ridley to a crazy contract that they could have paid AJ Brown, but we don't care about that. So they need line because their line is obnoxiously bad. So they're going to take Joe Alt, best tackle in this draft, and I think that's a pretty. If he's there at 7, I think that's pretty set in stone pick for them. At least it should be. So.
Fair enough.
All right, Falcons on the clock. This is Timothy. What are we looking at?
Falcons, I'm teasing a little bit. I'm very interested. The Adunze pick has really got my attention. I think, that locks in Adunze, Pitts, Robinson, London with Kirk Cousins, a solid offensive line, and that locks in your offense and you're ready to rock and roll. But after you've drafted a tight end, a running back, and a wide receiver the last 3 years, you brought in a defensive head coach. I can't imagine he would turn down a chance to draft the first defensive player in the draft. Between everyone on the board, I think you got to go with the edge. So this one seems also like a pretty obvious chalk answer, but I'm going to take Dallas Turner. I don't think the Falcons have been able to get after the quarterback since Vic Beasley had, had a cup of coffee in the NFL and was dominant. So I'll go with an easy one there and just take the best defensive player in the draft.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could feel like you're right. They already invested so much on offense, and they've patched up that defense kind of nicely. I think they got some good pieces, but they definitely need more help because they were pretty bad statistically last year. So now we have the Chicago Bears back on the clock again, and this is Nick. Do they trade down? Do they hold on to this pick? What do you think?
I think this is a good shot. They trade down here, but I'm making a pick here. But I do think there is a good shot they could look. They get Caleb Williams. They try to trade down, but I think in this position, pairing a young quarterback with a young wide receiver and creating a receiver trio of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze is just too exciting for Chicago to pass up. They brought in DeAndre Swift, um, and they got Cole Kmet. And I think it makes their offense exciting for the first time since, I don't know, Jay Cutler had Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. So I think it's probably the last time in Matt Forte. It's probably the last time Chicago was excited to see their team have the ball. So I'm going to say they'd take Rome Odunze here.
Okay. I thought you might go Brock Bowers there the way you were talking, but I like that.
No, I think
Crazy. Chicago
I,
has
I think
nutty
creating
wide
that I
receivers
think
now.
creating that trio and having a variance in ages, Keenan being your veteran, DJ being your middle of his career guy, and then Rome Odunze being your young wide receiver, gives a young
Mhm.
quarterback so many layers of options. And Cole Kmet's just a solid tight end, and you know what you're getting out of Swift. So I just think it makes the offense exciting again. And even if the team doesn't win a lot because they're still building, the line and the defense, at least you get to see some exciting plays and sell some tickets and some jerseys.
All right. Bobby, you are on the clock at number 10 with the Jets.
Yes,
Jets.
it's like with all New York teams. I mean, I think you could go a lot of different ways here, but I think the Jets this offseason they did kind of it's kind of like a patchwork offensive line. I mean, I don't think they have anybody at the tackles, but I think they picked up a few guys. Like I think Morgan Moses was one. Could be wrong there. So I could see them going the tackle from Penn State. I just can't say his name. That's why I'd say it. But at the same time, I can see them giving Rodgers, future vice president, another option in the passing game with no receivers there. So I think Brock Bowers from
Really?
Georgia would be the pick.
Yeah, that's a I've seen a lot of people go that way.
I feel
Yeah, I
like
mean, besides
seeing,
Wilson, they really don't have anything in the passing game.
I know they brought in some O linemen, but seeing Rodgers go down after 4 plays to start the
Yeah,
season, I feel like I'd want to beef up that line even more, but
yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
it's not a terrible
shot.
pick.
The guy from Penn State, he's been a top 5 pick last year too. So I don't think that'd
Yeah.
be the worst one either. So, but I think they give him a tight end.
Okay. Number 11 here is the Chargers. So Nick, this is your pick.
Me now. So after the trade back, I think with the 2 first-round picks, they're a team that needs a lot. So I'm probably gonna, going who I feel is the best available player on this board right now, and taking Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo.
Mm.
He's just the dude checks all the boxes, and I know people see the Toledo and get nervous, but he could have went to Alabama or SEC school. He chose to stay at Toledo, and he wanted to build something. He wanted to leave a legacy. He didn't just want to be a chaser of the big schools. And when he went down the Senior Bowl, man was lighting it up. He was locking everybody down. When they first started this, they thought he was going to be available around the Eagles pick, which quickly became a not going to
Yeah,
happen.
unfortunately, no.
And he's just lit up every workout, the draft, the Senior Bowl. Like he's that dude. He's CB1 in this class.
All right. Quinyon Mitchell to the lost track of my thing here. Chargers. All right. Tim, you're up at pick 12 here with the Broncos.
But
Hmm.
we want to be
This-
Dakota.
this-
But never mind. I messed up. My bad.
You just went. You took Bowers.
No, I meant you. I got mixed up.
Oh no.
The trade mixed me
Put me
up.
on the clock. Yeah.
Fair
Pay
enough.
attention.
Where was I at? Yeah, so not gonna lie, the Mitchell pick right before me kind of stings. I know the Broncos' biggest need is quarterback, but I think it's fairly obvious that they're gonna let Peyton see this one out. They traded a first round pick to get the guy. They moved on from Russell Wilson and ate all that dead money because it wasn't gonna work with him. Peyton obviously has a long leash here, so this is gonna be a long-term thing. There's no reason to rush into a young quarterback, build the roster. Mitchell was the one I had my eyes on. I think that would have made a lot of sense, especially with Van Joseph as the DC, former cornerback. Turner's off the board. I'm going defense. Verse is there, kind of interesting, but I'm going to stick with my quarterback, my secondary choice, and I'll go with Arnold from Alabama, who I think is still pretty solid. I mean, for a while there, it was Arnold and Mitchell. Arnold actually was like quarterback number one with Mitchell right behind him, but obviously Mitchell had a great draft process. But I still think they go for another guy across from Surtain.
Fair enough. Hopefully, well, I mean, there's still a chance 13 gets traded, but we will see. Nick, you are back on the clock with the Raiders 13.
So I think when you're a team that's got to play, you know, in the AFC West, and you got Mahomes twice a year, and you may have to continue to face Justin Herbert if he doesn't go on the move. I think you look at that and you say, you got Max Crosby, who's a beast. You brought in Christian Wilkins, Tyree Wilson, who they drafted really high a couple of years back, hasn't quite been what they had thought he would be. So I think they go. I think they take Jared Verse and they keep building out just a beast. I think if Terry and if either Arnold or Mitchell were there at 13, they would go that way. With the run going just before them, I think they take Jared Verse and just try to beef up that pass rush. And Jared Verse is a really good run stopper, which is a nice compliment to Max Crosby.
All right. Bobby, you are on the clock here with the Saints at 14.
I mean, I think if you think about it, Saints need a lot, and they're in cap hell for, I don't know, next 30 years. I feel like we're in the same predicament every year. But I don't think you pass on the chance to get the top tackle in the class and from Penn State. So that's kind of where I'm going. I know they have Ramczyk and Penning, who I believe was a first round pick a few years ago, but
Penning is who they made that huge Eagles trade with. We've been picking for years. Then they benched Penning during the end of last year. So thank you, New Orleans. Thank you, Howie.
But yeah, I think Fashanu is a pick there.
All right.
Good value
The
for them.
Eagles
I mean, that would be
He
huge.
definitely has to go before 14, and there's still like a bunch of good tackles out there too.
Yeah, the run might start happening. I think I see this area of the draft as the part where you really start seeing these offensive linemen go.
All right. So I have the Colts at 15. I would have liked to take a top cornerback here, but Mitchell and Arnold already went. I think for the Colts, you would look at pairing another wide receiver with Pittman, or if one of those top corners are there. I don't know how they feel. I think it's too soon for Cooper out of Iowa. I could see Nate Wiggins from Clemson going to the Colts. But with the value right now, I feel like I want to go with Brian Thomas Jr. Give the Colts some more firepower. Nice pairing with Pittman here, and start to give that offense some more weapons. So, all right, now moving on to the Seahawks at pick 16. Tim, you're on the clock.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks lost a couple pieces. They lost both their linebackers, Wagner again and Brooks. They brought in Leonard Williams, but I feel like I said with the Falcons, I feel like this team is always looking for pass rush since since Pete Carroll's been there. Looking at a couple guys, Letow from UCLA is a nice, solid edge option, but fitting more in the Pete Carroll mode, I'm gonna go with Byron Murphy from Texas.
Oh,
Carroll never really has those speed end rushers. He's always got guys like Leonard Williams, like Cliff Averill, Michael Beasley, Leonard, these guys that are more of the three technique, bigger bodies that can play inside and outside. So I'm gonna say he goes back to that well and take Murphy.
Well, Pete Carroll's not the coach anymore, but
Oh yeah, you're right. Damn. Well, he's still an advisor.
Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
but it's
It's the
what's his face?
Ravens. Wasn't the Ravens DC? Is he the guy?
Yeah, that's another
Oh yeah, McDonald.
same idea. Yeah, same idea. The defensive coaches. I'm sticking with my pick.
All right. Jags here, pick 17. Nick, you're on the clock.
well, that's extremely unfortunate because you two just consecutively picked the two people I was looking at the Jaguars to take. uh,
If only I
I
knew Pete Carroll wasn't coaching anymore, you probably would have been okay.
Murphy was my first thought there, and then Brian Thomas Jr. I thought was another one I would have went with. Um, but I guess if the board were to fall this way, um, I think I think you're in a little bit of a make it or break it type situation with um Trevor Lawrence right now. I mean, he came up, he was supposed to be this generational quarterback. He's shown a couple flashes. Dakota and I went to the Hurricane game where he fumbled 4 times.
Hmm.
And he just hasn't really shown what we expect. So I think if you're going to try to figure out if he's the guy, you either go receiver or you go line. Since Brian Thomas Jr. is gone, there's nobody else at this value I would take. Fuaga has guard and tackle versatility. I'm taking Fuaga, and I'm saying wherever I can go plug and play a guy, um, just go win a job. And I'm taking him if I'm the Jags. The board falls this way.
All right. Next on the clock, Bobby, you have the Bengals at 18.
Looking at this pick, I would say maybe they look receiver, but I don't think they're trading Higgins anytime soon.
I don't
Maybe
think so
after
either.
next year. Still got Chase. I know Boyd's gone, so they're looking for a receiver 3, but I think they'll find that later. If anything, I think they might be looking for a defensive tackle or an offensive tackle to protect Burrow. I know they signed Trent Brown and they have Orlando Brown on the other side, but I know Trent Brown's kind of a wild card. You got a few tackles out there. So I think you probably go. But you know what? Sorry. I'm going to go Johnny Newton from Illinois, defensive tackle.
Hmm.
He
Damn
was
it.
a top 10 pick, I believe, a few months ago, but kind of fell down a little bit. But I think he's the second defensive tackle in this class behind Murphy.
That was my Dolphin. Did you say Newton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
that was my Dolphins pick to replace Kirsten Wilkins.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him at the
Well-
last second. That's why I changed my pick. I'm like,
Well, that was my Rams pick to replace Aaron Donald. So,
I mean, I think the
that's-
Bengals, they have Rankins and BJ Hill, but I feel like they need a younger guy there to build on that defense.
yeah, they need more rush on besides what they get from their ends. So they need some interior power. All right. So yeah, this really fucked me. So I wanted the Rams to get Newton because that seems fitting. I think it's a little too early for Powers Johnson, which I feel like they'd consider for offensive line. Chop Robinson maybe, but I'm gonna put out that the Rams need a couple of things they could add here. So if anyone is looking to trade up, my Rams pick is for grabs here.
Who's
Hmm.
on me?
Can you scroll to the top?
Top of the ranking.
Yeah, just there. Can I just say, obviously I don't have this pick, but I'm gonna say there's a good shot. I believe the Eagles trade up to 19, 18, or 17 and either take Leatu Latu or a Cooper DeJean type in that 17, 18. I think they lock in on whichever one they really like and they move up.
Mhm.
I don't have the Eagles pick, so I'm not making that move. But I think in the actual draft, we're gonna see them move up a couple spots, not super high, but like 18, 19, and take one of them. Maybe 16.
Who has that? Bobby?
Yeah, I got him.
Hmm.
I mean, I think Latu like is there, like you said, but I think there's someone else on the board right now. I think they can wait for. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of value on the board. I can see that maybe
Yeah, I think
trading
so
down,
too.
but there's one guy on there I could see maybe as like a surprise pick, but we'll see when we get to the Eagles pick.
All right, Dakota, take the pick. Nobody wants it.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I
in
don't
that
see anything.
case, I'm gonna maybe I should go here, Batu for the Rams. I'm gonna go back to a bit of a reach here, but I think they need interior line help. Take Jackson Powers Johnson here. All right, moving on to Nick or Tim here. The
Wait, who
Steelers
did
at
you
number
take?
20.
Who'd you take?
Jackson Powers Johnson.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Like
The center from Oregon. I don't think
Okay.
that's much of a reach. I think he could go there.
to the Rams?
Not the Rams specifically, but like that 19, 20, 20, like that. I wouldn't be.
I'm not sure who's their center. I know they just paid their guards quite a bit.
Yeah,
Who's their
he feels like a Steelers pick. Like,
yeah.
He does.
No.
like he
Yeah.
feels
Steve
like
Avila. I mean,
Wait, he wasn't the
was-
Steelers pick. He was for the Rams. The Steelers are picking now.
yeah.
no, but I'm saying he
No, that's
feels.
what he's saying.
I'm saying like Jackson Powers Johnson, that like that nasty center. Like
Oh yeah.
he feels
I mean,
like a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I
I mean, Steeler,
well,
yeah,
yeah,
not
no.
Rams, but okay, go ahead. Just go ahead.
I mean, I'd have the Steelers here, and yeah, we're going offensive line regardless. Their offensive line is trash. They brought in two quarterbacks, Fields and Wilsons, to kind of battle it out. I think they're going to at least give him a chance, or you'd at least like to see it. Jones is solid as left tackle. They brought in last year. That's a good pick, I think, for them. But I'm going to take Latham from Alabama to lock down that right tackle spot. I think he's right tackle is where he's going to be, but I think he's a very solid right tackle. I don't think he's got the high ceiling like the other three tackles that went ahead of him because he doesn't have that left tackle ability. But going to the Steelers is perfect. You know, he can play on the right side. You got Jones on the left side. There's your bookends. You got two quarterbacks that you hope can get something out of. And I think starting there will be a big one. So I'll take Latham.
Who starts the quarterback for the Steelers to start the year?
Yeah, it'll be Russ. And see if you can milk anything from there. At least you've seen Russ be good. Fields has kind of always stunk.
He was all right towards the second half of the year last year.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I'll take Latham. But yeah, it's going to be offensive line regardless. I did want to wonder Fuaga, but I wish I kind of traded up on that one. But what are you going to do?
All right, Nick, you are on the clock here at 21 with the Dolphins.
So I'm gonna stick to the Mike McDaniel track. We're gonna run everywhere as fast as humanly possible. And we're just gonna build out speed. They're the fastest team in the NFL. When I went to that Dolphins game last year, Tyreek Hill, I have to say, is the fastest football player I've ever seen in my life. So why not go and get the guy who just ran the fastest 40 of all time, and throw Xavier Worthy on an offense that has two other guys who run a sub 4.3. He runs a 4.21, and Raheem Mostert was, a track star. And I think they just give Tyreek Hill guys who can get open in under 2 seconds, so he doesn't have to sit there and be under a lot of pressure, and they just go full on blitz speed attack.
It
All right,
fits the
Xavier
mold.
Worthy. There's a lot of speed. All right, Bobby, you have our coveted Eagles pick here at number 122. I don't know why I said 122. Round 1, pick 22. What did the Birds do?
I don't know. I mean, I think they could use something at every position on defense, especially secondary. But I know Nick alluded to this earlier, but I think if Latu's there, you got to pick him. I mean, pass rush. having enough pass rushers is great to have. So good a lot
6'5"
too.
too. Dang.
He's the best pass rusher in the class. It's the medical. It's going to turn out to be like, is he okay? Right? Like he didn't really miss a game the last 2 years, but Washington wouldn't medically clear him three
He is
years.
turning 24 too, which is kind of a little older for a first round pick, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
I would
All
love
right.
to be in this
Cool.
position though. If Latu, Cooper DeJean, and Nate Wiggins are all sitting on the board right now,
Yeah, you could even trade down there. I
you
mean,
could even trade back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get any of them, I'm pretty pumped.
I think inside linebacker is probably the biggest one, but I don't see anyone of value right
There's no
there.
first round. There's no first round
No.
linebacker this year.
No. All right. Batu to the Birds. All right, Nick, you're back on the clock again with the trade from Minnesota to LA. Who do the Chargers take here?
So the Chargers have swung and miss at some secondary pieces lately, whether that be guys who can't stay healthy, whether that be JC Jackson, who forgot how to play football after they gave him a monster contract. I'd really love the Eagles to take him. But I think Cooper DeJean is just such a gamer. He's a great athlete. He's versatile. They can play him at free safety, box safety, slot corner, outside corner. When you got a guy with that much defensive versatility, kind of like a bigger body, more athletic Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I just think he's such a defensive chess piece. I think that's something the Chargers could really use.
Yeah, I've seen him go as high as like 10 to 15, and then as low as probably around here. So we'll see where he drops. But yeah, I wouldn't be upset the Eagles took him either. But all right,
Best white corner since Seaborn.
The only.
He's very good on special teams too. So
He is very good.
Definitely
He's a great returner. He's just a
yeah.
he
Kind of
can
reminds
do
me
it
of
all.
McCaffrey, but on defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. That's good. That's a good call.
Bobby, you have the wait no, whose pick is this? Oh, Tim,
Cowboys.
you have the dreaded Cowboys pick here, 24 here.
Well, Dallas, after much debate, they're going to go with a punter. I'm just trying to find out who the worst punter is in this draft.
Let me see what we got.
I got to look up in my research.
Tory Taylor,
Speaking of
ranked
punters,
170.
Iowa definitely has
No.
going top 4 rounds, maybe.
Iowa 6'4".
No, less 6'4".
yards per punt. That's pretty good.
All right,
I
Dakota,
want- I
stop.
want
You're
a
gonna mess
punter.
up and draft somebody accidentally.
I want a punter that's missing a foot. That's kind of what I'm in the market for.
Okay.
But so Cowboys are on the clock. I mean, you look at this line, man. And you've heard for the last decade the Cowboys have the best offensive line in football. They lost Tyron Smith. They lost Bajalic. What's his face? Martin is getting older. They're looking weak. They're looking weak now. So I think they're going to go back to the well. Jerry loves the splashy signings and making the headlines, but they've always drafted through the line. They've drafted Smith, they drafted Martin, they drafted Bajalic, they drafted Tyron. So I think they go back to that. I'm going to take Fautanu from
Troy Fautanu.
Yeah, that guy. He gives him some versatility. Like he played inside. He could also play outside. What's his face? Tyler Smith can also do pretty much the same thing. I think it gives him a chance to decide where do they fit? Who's better on the inside? Who's better at left tackle? Give them options because they're weak in, I think, a couple spots. So I'll take him. I think it keeps their dominance on the offensive line going a little bit longer. But on the Cowboys is something I'm definitely paying attention to because I know they don't want to admit it, but the window is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
I know we don't like the Cowboys to do smart things, but I do. If I'm the Cowboys, they keep talking about moving Tyler Smith to left tackle. He was just an all-pro left guard as a rookie. Like what?
Yeah,
I wouldn't. He shut down Jalen Carter and Fletcher Cox. Like I would just be like, you know what? There's enough tackles on the board. Like take Fautanu, take Amarius Mims, take Tyler Guyton, and then put him at tackle. I wouldn't move Tyler. I hope they move him to left tackle. But if I
I agree with that.
I'd rather have an all pro left guard than a number 6 or 5 or 7 left tackle.
Yeah, who did they? someone recently made the switch from like right tackle, left tackle, and it was the same situation. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Tristan Wirfs.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's just something about like they overvalue certain positions and they put guys in where they shouldn't be. You see a lot, even like nickel corner is another one. You got a really strong nickel corner they'll push outside because he's the best coverage guy on the team, but it just doesn't work sometimes. But
Well,
yeah, no, I think I kind of stick with your philosophy. I mean, we'll see what they do, but I think they're definitely going O-line. I think they're replacing Tyron, and with such a strong offensive tackle class, I think it gets done in the first round. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they move up. If they really like one of them, if there's a run like there has been recently here, I could see them moving up a little bit to get one of them.
They are a big Jackson Powers Johnson mock draft landing spot as well. So if he was on the board, there's a good shot they would have taken him.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, listen, if what's his face, Felucio, the guy from Penn State, if he drops to 14, I mean, if I'm Dallas, I'm hitting the phone, and if he's going to fall that far, I'm definitely at least calling and seeing what's going to take.
I don't think he allowed a sack his last 2 years or something like that from Penn State.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, him at 14 is great value. And if to be fair, I probably should have been hitting the phone earlier with the Steelers and the Cowboys on that one, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. This will be a weird. I don't know how many teams from this range here are going to trade into the teams, but we could see. Nick, you are on the clock here with the Packers at 25.
The Packers, the surprise, the team that kind of came on late in the season, and what they did to Dallas was just beautiful. Like
Round of applause. Round of applause.
It was just, I gotta tell you, it was beautiful. But I think the offense is young. They're gonna grow together. I know there's a little bit of concern with Jair Alexander's contract, but you don't got anybody across from him. And so I think they're gonna go with the fastest corner in this draft and take Nate Wiggins and try to see if they can figure out Jair's contract situation. And if not, then Nate will step in and be CB1.
Yeah, I think Wiggins is going to be a good player. So I like it. It's crazy. The Packers, they dismantled the Cowboys and then almost beat the Niners. And now all these power rankings for next year have them so high. They had a nice end to their year and had a surprise in the playoffs, but they have a lot of work to do. So we'll see. Bobby on the clock with the Bucks at 26.
For the Bucks. I mean, I know they obliterated the Eagles in the playoffs last year, but that was more the Eagles and the Bucks, I think. I mean, you got Sua Peta as your left guard, which, I mean, he wasn't bad when he filled in last year, but I don't think Baker's the guy either, but who do you take? And you just paid him a bunch of money, so you don't take a QB.
Contract, yeah.
I think the best pick for them right now would probably either be Chop Robinson, but I would probably go with Kool-Aid. Best name in the draft, and he was arguably the top corner in the draft 6 months ago.
I think they lost one of their corners, didn't they?
Yeah, Carlton Davis. He went to the Lions.
Yeah, they got Dean and Zion McCollum. I think McCollum went to Rutgers, didn't he? Or maybe UConn. I forget where he went.
McCollum is Tristan McCollum, our practice squad player's brother.
Sam Houston. So that's close to Rutgers. So yeah, I think slotting Kool-Aid in there across from Jamal Dean is a good 1-2 punch.
Hey, I can't fault that logic.
Kool-Aid was one of my targets at 29 for the Lions, which is funny that you took him because they also
I know Bama, they used him a lot in the punt return too, so he's good with the ball in his hands, so it's a dynamic player.
So I got Cardinals here at 27. I also had Kool-Aid on my big board here. Let's see who else is still here. Looking for now. Jonathan Gannon's obviously a defensive guy. Cardinals need help everywhere. But they did add Marvin Harrison Jr. in their fourth pick. I can see them trading this to get some more capital, but assuming they hold on to it. I think you're looking at edge here. So I'm thinking Robinson. How do you go, Robinson or you keep missing him? Where is he going? Where you go D line, the other Robinson, Darius Robinson from Zoo. But I'll go with the edge out of Penn State over Chop. I don't think I think Chop's been dropping a little bit, but
Well then, with the Bills on the clock, this worked out very unfortunate because the last three picks were the three picks that I had lined up for them. So
Wait, time out.
that's a bummer.
Time out. Dakota, did you say not Chop Robinson because you drafted Chop Robinson?
no, I meant Chop's been dropping, so that's why. I don't know why I said it like that.
Wait, oh, never mind. Looks like it.
Damian Robinson is Chop Robinson.
I know.
Why does it say on the screen like? Is that Chop's like first name? I don't see Chop.
That's his first name.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, the one I'm looking at has Chop, so I got mixed up.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was confused for a second. I was like, wait, that is Chop. But yeah, no, I think he's been mocked. I think earlier in the draft process, he would have gone higher, like in the teens, but I feel like his name's kind of dropped a little bit. So good value for the Cardinals here at 27.
Yeah, I mean that's
Tim, you're on the
real
clock here at
tough.
28.
Yeah, that's really tough because I wanted all three of these picks that just went through for the Bills here. So I'll throw it out there now. If anyone's interested, we're definitely looking to move back. Anyone has one in mind?
I mean, Bills need a lot of help.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
they're gonna be thrown to me and you, Tim, considering they have no wide receiver.
Yeah. That's why. I know they're pretty much penciled in for a wide receiver, but to be honest, like we're looking at what the fifth wide receiver on the board now. I was focused on defense because they lost so many pieces. They lost White, they lost Poyer, they lost Floyd. You lost so many pieces on that defense. I think they need to retool. And part of me, man, I really look at what Mahomes did. Mahomes just won back-to-back Super Bowls with regular Joe Schmoes as wide receivers. He lost Tyreek Hill, won a Super Bowl. They lost Juju Smith and whatever booty ass wide receivers they had last year, and then he went and won another Super Bowl. Like at some point, I know he doesn't have Travis Kelce, but you drafted Kincaid high. At some point, Josh Allen's going to have to start pulling his own weight, like Mahomes does year in and year out. This is when they got rid of Hill as part of you have a $45 million quarterback. You can't afford to keep $30 million wide receivers. That's just not how it works. So yeah, I didn't love the wide receiver pick here, but since you guys all three of you went defense, it took all the guys I wanted. That was really unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, value-wise, I guess I'm gonna go back to the wide receiver. Well, I didn't really want to, but I'm gonna take the dude from Texas, Donnie Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell
6'4".
pick.
Yeah, I think that's if the board shapes out like this, I think you can live with taking what's the fifth or whatever wide receiver off the board. But if I'm the Bills, I mean they have so many holes. I think they're a best available kind of team. I want to chop though because you gotta be concerned about the Von Miller contract at some point.
Is wide receiver too obvious of a pick for the Bills?
I
Too
think
obvious the fact that they won't actually take one.
If there's a run on wide receivers, which I think there will be, I wouldn't be surprised if they go like defense. Like some good players are going to get pushed down with, with all these quarterbacks that are going to get drafted, all these wide receivers, all these tackles. But unfortunately, you guys took all three of the guys I was looking at 3 picks before me.
I mean,
so
I feel like
that's
I feel
life.
like the run.
What picks do the Bills have after
They
the
have.
first? Forget what they got for Diggs. Second, I know.
They have
Yeah, but the second's next year.
Yeah.
Nothing extra. Yeah, they have a second, a fourth, two fourths, 3 fifths, 2 sixths, and a 7.
I was gonna say maybe the Bills trade up to number 9 with the Bears for Doomsday, but I don't think they have enough for this year.
They would probably take the first and second and something like in the future, and then they wouldn't pick till the 4th round.
Yeah.
This team, I know I said this about the Cowboys about their window closing. The Bills better figure it out quick because they lost a lot of players. That window has closed. Yeah, now you got to open a new one. You got to find some other impact players. I like James Cook. I think Kincaid's good. I think you can go with a different style offense. But the defense has really got some massive holes, and that's who I kind of wanted to go with in the first round. But we'll see what McDermott does.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna have a run of wide receivers, I mean, it always happens. It's one team will take it. If I'm the Colts and I took Thomas, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a run. I mean, not that the Seahawks or Jags. Well, Jags might take a receiver, but those teams might trade up like, oh no, our guy's gonna get taken. I don't know why it always happens like that, but it does. But
Well, I mean, hey, AD Mitchell is the sixth wide receiver off the board. Isn't bad either. Yeah, I think that's actually good value. But I wouldn't be surprised if
um,
they'd look at other positions.
yeah. But all right, Nick, your last pick of this draft. You have the Lions here at 29. What are they doing?
Yeah, the Lions crushed the draft last year, man. It's so funny. And this is why every stupid little like
Florida,
post-draft
man.
rating system, when they said they had like a C minus draft because they took a running back and a linebacker in the first round, and then Jack Campbell in the second, and Sam Laporta, and they hit and Brian Branch, they hit all of them. Like
Oh
all of
yeah.
them were legit rookie impact top, 10 in their position. Laporta looks like he's gonna be the next tier of best tight end in football. So they killed it last year, and I got to tell you, they're a team that's actually fun for me to just root for as long as it's not hurting the Eagles. Um, I actually do really enjoy watching this Detroit team. Um, and I think they're really good at finding people who fit their systems. And you know, Dan Campbell is just such an intense, fiery dude, and I think he takes Darius Robinson edge out of Missouri. He can play the edge. He can line up inside. His tape is electric. The dude plays hard every single play. Just one of those dudes that, you know, the perfect marriage for Dan Campbell. And he's a little bit of a D line chess piece guy. You can move him into different slots, which is exactly what they do with Brian Branch. So they like having versatile defensive pieces. It just feels like too complimentary not to happen.
Yeah, I'm putting him next to Hutchinson's a nice piece there. All right. Bobby, your last pick. You have the Ravens here at 30.
I mean, besides quarterback, I feel like the Ravens could go with anything, honestly. And they always hit on it, so anything they pick will work out. But I do think after watching the AFC Championship game, they need another pass catcher to help out Lamar and I guess Derrick Henry now. But I'm going to skip over Keon Coleman and go with a guy who is more, I guess, more of a slot guy, and has been there before in the big games with Vlad McConkey.
Oh, you asshole.
I don't know, just he doesn't seem like
I
that.
thought I was so safe with Lad McConkey. I was like, who's gonna pick Lad McConkey?
I don't know. I mean, he just seems like a normal guy receiver, like 4 or 5 in college. But every time he gets the ball, he just does something with it. So
That is a very Chiefs
That's a
pick.
tough one.
All right.
yeah.
Vlad
I can
McConkey.
see him being a line pick too, McConkey, just like that lunch pail type of guy. Shows up every day.
Yeah,
Lunch
he just,
pail
you
type
know
of
what? He
guy.
just, I was like, you know what Mahomes need? Because he's never had, he needs his Wes Welker. He needs his
Yeah,
Julian Edelman. He
just a
needs
solid
his
guy.
little Dallas Clark. He just needs that guy. He needs a white slot wide receiver. He's never had one. All the greats have had them. Mahomes
All the
hasn't.
greats.
I
Hey
was
man,
going to get him one,
they
but
got some speed on the outside now with Rice and
yeah, see, I
Marquise
mean,
Brown.
yeah, you just needed a white slot receiver. And unfortunately, I tried, but,
I mean,
McConkey was gone.
he's got Kelsey. He's white, so
Yeah,
that's
but,
helped.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
All
I
right.
got what you're saying.
So we discussed it. I think Nick mentioned it earlier. Brandon Ayuk, possible trade candidate. Don't know. Don't know. He unfollowed the Niners from social media, and his family members are like talking shit. I don't know what. Same thing happened with the Cowboys. Like you need to make sure your family members don't talk in media about your team that you play for. But
Yeah.
um, I could see. I'm going to play, I guess, devil's advocate here and say that they trade Ayuk to some team for probably a second because I don't think they're going to get a first because trade value for all players is like not as high as it used to be. I guess a lot because you still need a contract and all that. But um, so that being said, they're going to be in the market for wide receiver, and They want someone with a little bit of height. So I'm gonna have them go here with Keon Coleman out of Florida State.
Look at you. All right.
All right.
Fair
And the
enough.
final pick of the 24 NFL draft, we have the Chiefs. Tim, who are they going for? Obviously not Matt McConkey, but
Yeah, that's a bummer to be honest with you. I
to
mean,
get
this one's tough. I could see them doing both. I could see them going down and just dropping out of the first round completely if they got some extra picks. I could also see them moving up if they like someone a lot. How much they go up remains to be seen. Cornerback, I think cornerback would have been a good pick. They signed Marcus Brown. They obviously they like Rice, so I wouldn't worry too much about a wide receiver. Um, it's tough field for me to be honest with you. Tough field here.
As of now, we got 8. Is that a record or no? It's got to be close for like a first round for receiver.
we have
Or we
8.
just really like receivers.
1, 2.
It means it's a strong class. There's 8
4.
we have so far.
It's a strong receiver
Oh,
class.
wait,
It's
there
a
you
strong
go, right
tack.
there.
It's a really strong tackle class.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you look at the board now. There's like 6 guys who could go here.
Yeah.
Offensive line that
Yeah.
could be a first round pick.
Yeah, but you know what? The only thing that matters is what the Chiefs have pretty much proven to us is Patrick Mahomes. And why bother getting this guy wide receivers when he's proven he can win Super Bowls multiple times without them? But I'm going to keep him protected. I'm going to take Mims, offensive tackle. Taylor's fine on the left side, but I think Donovan Smith is not really a long-term option. He's not been great. His play's definitely dropped off. He's 30 years old. Start grooming for the next round. You'll make sure you have solid bookend tackles to protect Mahomes at all costs. I don't even care if it's a luxury pick, but I think late first round pick, get Mims, who can probably start right away if you need him to, or wait under the wings, is a solid pick.
All right. So Mims was the last selection in the draft. That's our results there. I mean, any surprises? I mean, I think the McCarthy thing is he's going to be the biggest wild card at quarterback because I can see him going as early as 2 or as late as back end of top 10. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he ends up there at 5, what the Chargers want to do there. But I don't know.
I'm still convinced you made that pick just to sound exciting.
It was just the Michigan
So
connection to
disbelief
New
with
England.
Powers Johnson at 19 to the Rams. Like, I don't know. Just
Yeah, I was looking at him for some later teams. Do we really think? I mean, Bo Nix, Penix, they find a way in the first round at all? You know how
I-
quarterbacks get overdrafted.
I mean,
I
maybe
think Bo
Penix.
Nix. I think Bo Nix over Penix, just the way the drafts work. But I could see Penix being a better player than Bo Nix. But could I see the Broncos taking Bo Nix at 12? Yes.
I feel so bad.
Phoenix is the Oregon.
Yeah, I would just feel bad for Denver fans if they did that. I really think they need to quarterback should not be on Denver's mind. Like you're in the long-term game at this point. You're gonna have to pay Wilson forever. Just build the team.
Yeah, I can see Bo Nix just because I've seen a lot of early second round mocks with him getting taken like the first 6 picks. So I could see a team trading back in with KC or San Fran, maybe even Baltimore. They're always likely trade back candidates anyways. So do you think the Browns try to get into this first round? Because they don't have any first round picks.
What if the Broncos offered Pat Surtain to New England? Do you think that can move him up to number 3?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Would they trade the 12
Surtain like
with it?
I don't know.
Surtain the 12 for the 3?
No,
Well, actually, you know what?
I don't think they
That's
would.
a Bill Belichick
Surtain
move.
for the
Yeah, that's
3?
a.
I love Surtain, but I don't think that would happen.
No,
I'm still
Surtain's still
thinking
young,
like-
but he's about to get paid. I mean, I don't know. If
That's a
they
Belichick
put the
move.
12 with it,
Quarterback
yes.
duo.
Surtain in a later pick, maybe like a second and a third, one this year, one next year.
If they were like ready to win, yes, but Patriots are still a few years away. I don't think it's worth it unless that 12th pick gets involved.
You don't think pairing Christian Gonzalez and Surtain together would be intriguing to them?
No, that would be
It could be,
insane,
but they don't have
it's-
anything on offense. Then
They just hired Gerard Mayo as their head coach. He's a defensive guy.
You'd have to give him the 12.
I think about it. I
There's no
mean,
way.
that's a Bill Belichick trade. And if Mayo's coming from the Belichick trade, like I hands down think Belichick would make that move. He would just be like, you know what? We're gonna win games 3-0, 6-10, you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it took me two firsts just to move up to get to 3. You think one player is going to help get you all the way
An
to 3?
all-pro corner who's on the 4th year of a rookie deal. Yeah, I think that's an established. He's a definite top 2 corner.
Not for
in the
3.
NFL. He's a top 2 cornerback in the NFL, and he's
Have
only.
we seen that? Have we seen?
25?
Have we seen defensive players get top 10 draft picks?
We've never seen a trade like this before.
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
I still don't think. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't see New England, Washington, or Chicago moving. I think those are your top 3. I just don't see them moving. I think they all take quarterbacks.
I just think Nick wants McCarthy at 3 for Broncos. He's just
I
itching
do not want. I do not want JJ McCarthy. Please, I don't want.
Who do you want the Broncos to
Bo Nix.
draft a quarterback?
I don't want Penix. I don't want any of them. Unless they get Penix in the 2nd round, I don't want any of those quarterbacks in the 1st round.
I mean, if it's Jaden Daniels, I would do it. If I was a Broncos or Tanford Daniels, I mean,
You don't want them to pull another Paxton Lynch?
Don't you talk about Paxton Lynch.
they'll draft Bo Nix in the 2nd round. The Broncos, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Or some guy who's like 6'8". I don't know if there's any quarterbacks like that, but they like the big
Tebow.
guys.
Oh gosh.
Brock Osweiler.
Oh my god.
Man,
You want a
Broncos
Super Bowl?
really.
You're gonna make me throw
Broncos
up.
might have the worst track record of quarterback drafting.
You're gonna make me throw up.
Big
I
cock
mean,
Brock.
them or the
That's what they're
Bears,
calling
you
them.
know, it's a close one. It's a
No,
close
the
mix.
Bears are the worst. The Bears.
Who did the Bears? I mean, Trubisky, but who else?
Nobody.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah, they just don't draft quarterbacks high.
Well, and the Browns are like the standard for how to draft bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's true. Any of these
But,
non-first round teams jumping in the 1st round, like the Browns, the Panthers?
That's what I was trying to think.
No,
But the Browns don't have
the
a lot
Browns
of
out.
capital.
No, I don't think so. They gave up too much to get Deshaun, and well, you know what they are really good at? Trading late picks for receivers. They are amazing at that. I got to tell you.
That's true. Yeah, they
Amari
do like
Cooper,
to.
they stole somebody else this offseason. They
Who did
traded.
they get on
Brandon
this
Ayuk?
offseason? I was thinking about that earlier. I forget.
Yeah,
Broncos receiver.
Oh yeah,
They
Judy.
picked-
Yeah.
they.
Brandon Ayuk to the Browns for a 4th.
Oh god,
That'd be a hell of a trio.
they could make it. They could make it happen. It's the only thing they're good at is trading late picks for receivers.
I think Jarvis was a trade too back in the day.
Yeah, he was. All right, we're gonna
OBJ.
run out of time.
All right, less than a minute. Yep. All right, boys. Good draft. Hopefully the Eagles don't upset us, and who knows, take a fucking quarterback. But yeah, let's see what happens. Thanks for
So I
coming
remember
on,
Jalen
and,
Hurts that night, COVID draft. Just everyone's like, "What the hell?"
That was
Look out.
as if COVID wasn't crazy enough.
I did say I like him. I just wish he went to a better place where he had an opportunity to play.